Welcome back to Seven Figure Flipping. I'm your host, Adam Whitney. I'm the CEO of Seven Figure Flipping and Blackjack Real Estate. Okay, one of the most interesting topics, and I feel like we have this discussion every single year. Are we in for another housing market crash? I just saw a report that there were over 6 million houses going into foreclosure or upside down. I also saw that we have uh, mortgage payments are made up of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And taxes and insurance, on average, are taking up 32% of that payment. Here is the crazy thing. For sure, insurance payments are rising. For sure, taxes are rising in a lot of places. And yes, there are always going to be a number of people in foreclosure. The truth is that there were far more people in foreclosure in just prior to 2008 going into the housing bubble than there are today. They're still pretty low in terms of the overall marketplace. So, of course, when somebody says 6 million houses are in foreclosure, everybody wants to freak out. Of course, insurance costs are up, affordability, all those things. But let me give you a quick rundown. Every year, there's at least one reason on why the housing market is going to crash. So in 2016, believe it or not, when houses were cheap, like if you said today, when were houses cheap, somebody would say, yeah, 2016, we should have bought a whole bunch of houses. The rising home prices were outpacing income growth. By the way, they still are, which was leading to affordability concerns. So if you go back and look up news articles from 2016, that was the overall narrative. And that was the reason the housing market wasn't going to stay going up, because we came out of 2008. We spent about 3 years in this crazy recession. And then in 2011, it started to ascend and prices were starting to go up into 2016. And then 2017 happens, and the speculation about the real estate bubble was happening similar to 2008 because prices kept going up. So if you remember, home prices in 2005, 2006, 2007 shot up like a hockey stick, and then it all crashed. So people start to see this, oh my gosh, 2015, 2016, 2017, there's hockey stick like growth in home prices. Little did they know it would continue to go up for many more years. And then in 2018, similar to now, there was crazy talk about the rising mortgage rates. At one point, they hit like 5%, and people were freaking out, and it was slowing the market down. And everybody said the market is correcting. And then in 2019, there was a global economic shutdown, and then there were concerns over just recessions. And it wasn't just the United States; it was Greece, and it was other countries who were having massive economic issues. So then they start to predict this like global recession in 2019, and then we all know what happens in 2020. We have a global pandemic. What we could have never guessed, though, was what happened after the pandemic. So obviously with the pandemic happening, everybody's like, don't buy real estate. The world is crashing. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It's super scary. And then in 2021 and 2022, home prices have an unprecedented amount of growth. And of course, in 2021, the home price appreciation was fueled by low inventory because there was all this mobility. People were able to work from home. Nobody wanted to stay in the city. They wanted to go out to the burbs. And then you started to see all these migration patterns go crazy. Plus, the government had like sent people checks directly to their house. So a lot of people had low debt and a lot of cash. And there was all this demand to buy houses, and prices just went through the roof because the inventory got so low, less than a month's supply. And that continued to go on through summer of 2022. In 22, the Federal Reserve starts raising interest rates aggressively. So for the first time in a long time, interest rates go from basically zero and get up to 3, 4, 5% from 22 into mid 2023. And we're in this affordability crisis where now houses are still expensive, and thinking, hey, if we raise the interest rates, then that's going to help correct some of the economy. And it does, but not the housing market in total. Houses are still unaffordable because the prices didn't come down all that much. While they definitely came back some, they didn't come down all that much. So all this to say, every year there's a reason the media will tell you to not do real estate. So are we in some crazy real estate bubble, and is it going to be some crash, and should we just not do anything because there are some foreclosures and insurance is high and all these reasons you'll see in the media, in articles? The answer is, if you listen to that, you would never build wealth in real estate, because every year there is a reason. Work within the conditions that you have, control the things that you can control, make smart decisions, find a mentor, find people who have been doing it for a long time, who have a proven track of success, and just watch what they're doing. And eventually you have to make a jump. You have to take action. You can't just be thinking about it forever. You can't just think, I'm going to stop doing this because the media tells me that bad things are going to happen. Well, guess what? I've never turned on the news where they weren't saying bad things are going to happen. So if you just are waiting for them to say things are good, you're probably going to be holding your breath for a long time. Okay, I'll conclude like this. The real estate market is not all that different from equities in the sense that this adage is true. Buy real estate and wait. Don't wait to buy real estate. That just means the real estate market really, over the duration of its history, just like the stock market, has ascended up. Now, can there be a pullback in a 6-month period or a 2-year period? Of course, the real estate market could pull back and you could lose some equity, or if you're flipping a house, the profit from your flip could evaporate like it did in July of 2022. But that's okay. That is the environment we operate in, and we put things in to create some fail safes and some optionality and mitigate our risk. All right, a couple things. If you got something out of this, if you believe the real estate market's going to crash and nobody should do real estate, just put a comment. Let me know. Send me an email, info@sevenfigureflipping.com. I want to hear your reasons behind it. Or if you think, you know what, I'm still going to operate, I'm still going to buy real estate, send me an email too. Tell me why. I'd love to know. And if you want to get involved in our community, feel free to reach out to us at info@7figureflipping.com. Love to hear from you guys. And please leave us a 5-star review. The more people that leave a review, the more people get to listen to this, and the more people we get to impact and reach. All right. I'll catch you on the next one.